The Colosseum stands today as Rome's most iconic monument, but its story begins not with glory, but with blood, politics, and a desperate emperor's gamble for power. In 69 AD, Rome was drowning in civil war. 4 emperors claimed the throne in a single year. When Vespasian finally seized control, he faced a bankrupt empire and a population that had watched their city tear itself apart. He needed something massive to win their loyalty. So he made a promise. He would give Rome the greatest arena the world had ever seen. But where would the money come from? The answer lay across the Mediterranean. In 70 AD, Vespasian's son Titus laid siege to Jerusalem, crushing a Jewish rebellion. When the temple fell, Roman soldiers looted its treasury, stripping away golden vessels, the sacred menorah, and mountains of treasure. 50,000 Jewish captives were enslaved and marched back to Rome in chains. That plunder would fund the Colosseum. Those slaves would build it. Vespasian chose the construction site with calculated symbolism. Emperor Nero had drained a valley in the heart of Rome to create a private artificial lake for his golden house, a monument to his own excess. Vespasian ordered it filled in. Where Nero had built for himself, Vespasian would build for the people. The message was clear. The Flavian dynasty was returning Rome to its citizens. The engineering challenge was staggering. The site sat on swampy ground where Nero's lake had been. Roman engineers dug 26 feet down, installing massive drains to channel away underground streams. Then they poured a concrete foundation 12 meters thick, using volcanic pozzolana mixed with lime and aggregate. This ring-shaped base, 39 to 42 feet deep under the outer walls, would support over 100,000 cubic meters of travertine stone. Without this foundation, earthquakes would have reduced the structure to rubble centuries ago. Construction began around 72 AD. Thousands of workers quarried travertine limestone from Tivoli, 15 miles away. They hauled volcanic tufa from local quarries. Brick kilns worked overtime. The Romans pioneered a revolutionary technique: standardized parts. Craftsmen in workshops built identical seats and stairs off-site, then transported them to the construction zone. Every piece was interchangeable. This assembly line method allowed them to install over 50,000 seats with unprecedented efficiency. The outer wall rose in 4 stories, each tier displaying a different classical order: Doric columns on the ground level, Ionic on the second, Corinthian on the third. 300 tons of iron clamps held the massive travertine blocks together without mortar. Inside, Roman concrete formed the vaulted corridors and the inner bowl. The structure stood 159 feet tall and stretched 617 feet along its longest axis. It wasn't circular, but elliptical, designed using precise geometric ratios that Roman architects had perfected. Beneath the wooden arena floor, engineers excavated the hypogeum, a subterranean maze of tunnels, cages, and mechanical lifts. 80 vertical shafts connected this underground network to the arena above. Gladiators and wild animals could be hoisted up through trapdoors, appearing as if by magic before the roaring crowd. Larger platforms called hegmata lifted elephants and elaborate scenery. The Romans even engineered a system to flood the arena for mock naval battles, though this was later abandoned when the hypogeum was expanded. Vespasian died in 79 AD before seeing his vision completed. His son Titus finished the top level and inaugurated the Colosseum in 80 AD with 100 days of games. Ancient sources claim 9,000 animals were slaughtered during the opening festivities. An inscription at the entrance made the funding source explicit: the Emperor Titus Caesar. Vespasian Augustus ordered the new amphitheater to be made from the proceeds from the sale of the booty. Inside, the seating arrangement was a physical manifestation of Roman social hierarchy. The emperor and senators occupied ringside boxes with the best views. Behind them sat the equestrian class, wealthy merchants, and former cavalry officers. Above them, ordinary male citizens filled the middle tiers. Women, foreigners, slaves, and the poor were relegated to the uppermost wooden seats farthest from the action. Every spectator knew their place. The Colosseum didn't just entertain, it reinforced the rigid class structure that held Roman society together. For nearly 4 centuries, the Colosseum hosted gladiatorial combat, animal hunts, executions, and theatrical spectacles. It could accommodate 50,000 seated spectators and 5,000 standing. Sailors operated the velarium, a massive retractable awning that shielded the crowd from sun and rain. The games were free, funded by emperors and wealthy citizens seeking political favor. Bread and circuses, the Romans called it. Keep the population fed and entertained, and they won't revolt. The Colosseum was never just an arena. It was a war memorial built with the spoils of conquest. It was a propaganda machine that transformed the violence of civil war into the spectacle of controlled blood sport. It was an engineering marvel that showcased Roman technological supremacy. And it was a tool of social control, reminding every citizen of their place in the imperial hierarchy. When you stand before it today, you're not just looking at ancient architecture, you're looking at the calculated genius of an empire that understood power isn't just taken, it's performed.